Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a topic that no one is expecting. I know is something different, and I've been posting video that had anything to do to travel, but I think is important. If you saw the last video, you know that I'm Puerto Rican living in the United States, and scrolling on my feed on Instagram, I came across to a lot of news from Puerto Rico. Since I moved here, I noticed that a lot of people had no idea about Puerto Rico. Some people don't even know that you can go to Puerto Rico with just your driver's license. And the people who knows Puerto Rico know about it based on the wrong information, like all those influencer or financial advisor that just trying to avoid paid taxes.
I thought it was more third world than I suspected, so I went out there to scout it, and I just fell in love with it.
If you're like me and you bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can sell it for a profit and pay zero tax if you live in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is a beautiful place with a rich cultural, with an extremely beautiful background and good food. But Puerto Rico is not just that. Puerto Rico is the only U.S. territory that don't speak English. And it's not because U.S. didn't try to force Puerto Rican to speak the language. Is that we just refuse to do so. But this is not History Channel, so let continue. But if talk about history, we can talk about how United States used Puerto Rico as a lab, from medicine that wasn't approved to testing military equipment to a doctor that tried to kill the most people he can because, and he said, and quote, Puerto Ricans are animals. His name was Cornelius P. Rhodes. You can look at it. It's stupid.
Cornelius Rhodes was working for the Rockefeller Institute, and he went to San Juan in the 1930s to research anemia. A lot of Puerto Ricans were suffering from anemia as a result of hookworm. And he took his, he'd been trained in Harvard, but suddenly when he got to San Juan, he became a different kind of doctor. He took his location, being in Puerto Rico, as sort of licensed to do whatever he wanted, however he wanted it. So this is what we have accounts of. First of all, he refused to treat some of his patients just to see what would happen. He tried to induce disease in others, again, to see what would happen by restricting their diets. He referred to his patients, to his colleagues, as experimental animals. And then he wrote a letter. He sat down and he wrote a letter in which he said to a colleague in Boston, he said, Puerto Rico is beautiful, the weather is incredible, I love the islands. However, the problem is with the Puerto Ricans. They're awful, they steal, they're filthy, and the thing to do really is to totally exterminate the population. And then he said, and I've started that. I've killed 8 of my patients, and I've sought to transplant cancer into 13 more. Hope you're doing well in Boston, yours sincerely, and just signed off.
But no, all the problem is created by United States. The corruption in Puerto Rico is insane. Puerto Rico has faced its share of corruption scandals.
Trump sounding annoyed. Wow, yet another big storm heading to Puerto Rico, he tweeted. Will it ever end? The president has railed against the island ever since Hurricane Maria, when he tossed paper towels to storm victims and complained about the cost.
I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack.
Today, with storm preps underway, he blasted the island as one of the most corrupt places on earth, adding, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to Puerto Rico.
One notable case involves Senator Abel Nazario, who was arrested as part of a corruption investigation. He was accused of using municipal funds to pay others for work on his senatorial campaign. This incident highlights the ongoing efforts to combat corruption on the island. Additionally, there have been other cases involving former mayors and municipal officials like Maria Charbonnier, who inflated the hourly rate to an employed and then asked them to return the money on cash to her every paid period. The United States provides financial support to Puerto Rico. However, the exact amount has been a topic of debate. While some claim that Puerto Rico received $92 billion, but federal data indicates that the island had received less than 14 billion. An additional $1 billion was approved, but that is not for free. Puerto Rico paid back to United States a crazy amount of money in taxes, fee, and laws made just for Puerto Rico. So don't get it twisted.
Puerto Rico is an invisible island. You hear what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Well, what happened in Puerto Rico never happened at all. The Jones Act is Section 27 of the Merchant Marine Act of 1920. And under that law, Puerto Rico is specifically prohibited from developing its own shipping industry. Any boat that comes into Puerto Rico cannot be a foreign registry vessel. It has to be a U.S. vessel. It has to pay a schedule of fees, duties, import quotas, taxes, a whole schedule of costs that then get passed on to the Puerto Rican consumer. Everything that comes into Puerto Rico ends up costing 15 to 20% more. Now, Puerto Rico is an island. It has to import virtually everything, including its food. 70% of the economy was agriculture. In 1900, agriculture is now 1% of the Puerto Rican economy. So everything that comes into Puerto Rico ends up costing 20% more. If it doesn't come in directly, it can go to Jacksonville, Florida. It gets offloaded off the original foreign registry vessel and then reloaded onto an American boat. And then that U.S. boat is allowed to come into Puerto Rico. But that process creates a cost of about 15 to 20%. There's no logical reason for it other than it provides price protection to every corporation that is sending goods into Puerto Rico. Talk about this so-called debt of $72 billion. Well, the price differential that these corporations are benefiting from is roughly about $6 billion a year. If you multiply 6 times 96, that's $576 billion. Puerto Rico supposedly owns a little over 70 billion. So you could have paid this supposed debt 8 times over if it weren't for that one act, the Jones Act.
But where that money goes, the infrastructure is a disaster. You got students protesting on TikTok because the school in Puerto Rico are destroyed. And Surfrider, a nonprofit organization, rate D to Puerto Rico for the protection and environmental care of the coast. Also, we got Law 22, also known as the Act to Promote the Transfer of Individual Investors to Puerto Rico, offers tax incentives to attract investors, including Americans. These benefits include tax exemptions on capital gains and dividends, making Puerto Rico an attractive destination for business and investment. But Puerto Rican cannot benefit from this law. So no, Bad Bunny do not have this benefit. What I'm trying to bring with this video, simple. Puerto Rico is a beautiful place to visit, a place that I believe is the best place on earth, but like many places, is facing the most corrupt and irresponsible government that I ever see. Even this is not new in Puerto Rico. In August 2nd, 2019, Puerto Rico became the first United States territory, including the state where a governor resigns after someone leaked his conversation about manipulation and corruption. Like, seriously, it's just sad how the best place in the planet is deteriorating from people that call themselves Puerto Ricans and still don't give an AF. And that is not counting the security in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico violent crime rate is 39.5% lower than the national median, and the property crime rate is 60.8% lower. But we got 19.3 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. So even I'm telling you all that, I do believe that you need to visit Puerto Rico, but do not go to the tourist areas. Go where locals gather, go to the beach, eat everything, talk to everyone. We are all extremely friendly, and believe when I said you will have the best trip of your life. But politics just sucks, and I need to take this out from my chest. So please do not judge any place or anyone based on where they come from, because you don't know what is really going on in their country. However, is legal ways to come to the United States. Do not come here illegally. We understated that every country has their BS going on, but we also had our own BS that we are dealing with. That's it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. And like always, see you next time.